Hello everyone, we are playing Root, the RPG. This is a game organized by the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is a community that is all about playing indie games and online. You can find more about it on the links below. Because the Gauntlet game, this is covered by the Gauntlet inclusivity policy. It is an open table, so if any moment you need to leave, feel free to do so. We'll wait and accommodate that. We are using the following safety tools. We are using the lines and veils. As a reminder, lines are everything that you don't want to see on the game. Veils are everything that you don't want to engage in the game, things that fade to back or we are not playing through. We also have the X card, so in any situation, feel free to use it. And we also have script change, which is a more curated tool in which we can fast forward, rewind, or pause and discuss a scene. Root is a game about war in the woodlands and about the lives of those scouts in between. And we are joined by our crew of vagabonds, people that are bold and capable enough to brave the dangers of the forest for their own purpose, and are occasionally involved in the politics of factions. Such is the case now. They have an unusual pattern for this time. The tax collector for the marquisate on Underleaf, they came to them in secrecy with an unusual request. Apparently, there has been some kind of con artist that has been pretending to be a leader of the revolution, trying to create upheaval in Underleaf, but it was actually a con artist that just took the supplies and money of those that were in trouble with authorities and escaped into the forest. Uh, they know that they are trying to do the same in Wind Gap Refuge, which is on the other side of the war. They don't see this situation benefiting anyone. So they asked you to put a stop to it. And because, again, they escaped to Iris territory, nobody that is working for the Marquisate can do so freely. We see our vagabonds on the road as they arrive to the gates of Wind Gap Refuge, the only place in which they have clues where to start to look for this supposed rebel leader. And we're gonna go on the reverse order on my screen. So let's start. Libby, why don't you introduce yourself and Delta Down?
Delta Dawn is a vagrant possum. Her demeanor is angry. She is mangy, wearing a tattered cloak with a single kind of dead old rose pinned to it. She calls the forest home, and she became a vagabond because a noble lady from the Marquisate romanced her and then left her behind. Um, so she decided to leave her home and start wandering. She left behind her daddy, which was her only family, and now she mostly serves the denizens of the forest, and she has a special enmity with the Marquisate.
So, yeah, she has a particular enmity with the Marquisate. So, the question in everyone's mind, I think, is what did the tax collector promised her that she has been wanting for a long, long time, but has not been able to do so.
So I think that I've been looking for this lady who broke my heart for a very long time so I can like go and spit in her face. I think her name is Kira, and if and he's promised to tell me where she is.
Revenge is always a good motivation. Next, Richard, why don't you introduce yourself and Nail?
Hello, I'm Richard. Nail is a ambiguously gendered fox who is a tinker who loves to build and fix things, whether on in their workshop or just on the road or in the clearing outside their workshop or on the clearing outside the road. Really, you can find them building things anywhere they happen to be. Um, they've got an inquisitive demeanor, but they've got that strange look in their eye that you're not quite sure if they're listening to you or if they're thinking about something else. And they've got a tool belt that there's just 100 tools around their waist. They hail from a place far from here, far from this forest, and they were thrown out of there because their ideas were a bit too bad. They had to leave behind their wife, but they did have to bring with them their daughter, who is their assistant in their workshop. In their time since arriving in the forest, they've served the denizens of the forest the most, but they've seemed to have gotten on the bad side of the marquisate.
When you met the tax collector, uh, you found out that they don't fit very well on the orthodoxy of the marquisate. In fact, you learn that they might be just as radical on their beliefs as you are. What about them tells you about this fact?
I think the fact that they've come to a group of vagabonds to fix their problems rather than going to the established authority in the matter. I mean, there's plenty of soldiers that could go and fix all of this, but apparently they don't trust the soldiers and the armies well enough to fix the problems to the state.
Next, Robert, why don't you introduce yourself and Connor?
Yep, I'm playing Connor. Is the Arbiter playbook. He is a big, long-eared owl with a scar across one of his eyes, and he wears sort of faded military clothing. He comes from Clutcher's Creek, where he used to work for the Ivory. But he was he basically had to leave when he refused to punish a family of rabbits that could pay their taxes to the dynasties. So he abandoned his post and basically as commander. So he's been traveling about, helping out the denizens wherever he can, and is not in the best favor with the Ivory dynasties right now.
And Connor is going straight into Irish territory. So, does Connors feels any sense of obligation in stopping this false leader, or something else drives them?
Connor believes that this individual is harming the people that he is claiming to be helping by doing this, taking advantage of uh, ill feeling to profit from it. He doesn't agree with that, so he's going to put a stop to it.
And Toby, why don't you introduce yourself and Fluff?
Hi, I'm Toby, and Fluff is a small red squirrel with an enormous fluffy tail. That's the feature that we first notice when we first see him. I'm saying him. I should be saying they because it's his of ambiguous gender. They're the ranger playbook, so which means they have a bow. And they're out here doing jobs, having left their family to escape the war that came to the previously peaceful clearing. Fluff grew up in a family that has worked for generations for the Erie dynasty, and Fluff still feels an allegiance there because they're aware that their family would have been nothing without the patronage of the birds. But life has got a bit more ambiguous lately. And right now, their main focus is on trying to protect Delta Dawn from herself. But being a tiny squirrel with not much more than enthusiasm to go by, we'll wait and see how successful that is.
How do you believe that this job will bring a little bit of peace to the woodlands?
I've heard a rumor, or I have an idea somehow from some clue that I've picked up that perhaps this false leader, this upstart rebel leader, that the cats want taking down, had something to do with the trouble that came to my family in the clearing that I left a few years ago. They were somehow involved. Maybe Fluff recognized a name or a description or something. So Fluff's other agenda now is to find out more what's going on there.
So after a long voyage, you are at Wind Gap Refuge. You can see the familiar architecture of the rabbit clan, which is the majority of this clearing, and you can also see the busy activity going around the mines of the region, as well as the many ships that are loading in the bay. There are extensive farmlands around the clearing, as this seems to be a strategic point for any efforts to control the woodlands, as being both uh, the bread basket of the woodlands, as well as its gateway to other parts. You can see new buildings, the tall towers that the Erie seems to favor, and other fortifications that they have been working hard ever since they conquered this place. But seems to be a shadow cast over that. As you mingle with the people, while they are not as suspicious of vagabonds as some clearings are, there seems something that seems to tormenting them. There seems to be some kind of sickness going around, at least by the faces that you see. But not all of the faces. You see atop the walls the guards of the Erie, and you see the occasional dignitaries and nobles going around, and whatever is plaguing the people is not affecting them. So, does any of you know someone in Gap Refuge?
Well, I seem to know people all over the forest, so I suppose it stands to reason that I've done some work for some people around here.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, what is your daughter's name?
Oh, Timber.
Timble.
No, Timber. We are
Timber.
Timber and Nail.
Okay, I was thinking Timble. Yeah, so Timber. Uh, so Timber is very excited at the notion of visiting someone here. What would make your daughter so happy?
I think that she is incredibly outgoing and somehow makes friends anywhere we go for work. And I swear sometimes she spends more time playing with them rather than doing her actual job. So I think that, yeah, one of her longtime friends from a job a while ago, that we haven't been here in a little while, so she gets to come back and see one of her friends and play with them while Daddy does work.
So there are three main places of activity for where you could do your craft. There is a neighborhood of craftsmen centered around the old kiln, when you have other artisans, and there is the farmlands that are distributed across the land, but there's always small estates that have been controlled by rabbit families since generations. And then you have the dockyards where basically most of the population lives around the bay, but it's mostly people that are neither rabbits or bunnies that are making a living there, or they are just in between jobs, or they are waiting for the next boat. They spend their time on taverns and the dockyards. Which of these places Nail used to work on?
I think I've worked around the bay. I think that I wouldn't work too closely with a lot of other craftsmen. But yeah, maybe fixing something up for someone in the more built up area. Maybe another fox that didn't feel right asking a rabbit for some help.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Fluff, you recognize among the guards someone that once gave you a job. Who is it?
Are these guards birds?
Yeah, assorted
Okay.
bird. A lot of sparrows, a few crows, a few blue jays, a rooster.
I think it's a rooster, an old rooster, who gave me a job to carry a parcel from one clearing to another, because birds just assumed that when the orders are given that they could just fly from place to place, and of course the rooster wasn't very good at that. So the rooster used to hire vagabonds to do that kind of job.
Hmm. So are you trying to be inconspicuous, or you just enter without worry that you're being tracked or not? That you're going to be recognized?
I'm not too worried, because I'm well known among the area. I've done some work for them. I have no reason to be nervous. I might even
Okay.
try and catch this old rooster's eye and say hello.
So roll your eerie reputation, which is +0. So just go to the roll for your party and just a simple 2d6.
I have a 6.
Oh. You approach the rooster. Let's call him Sergeant Zola. And he at the first seems to smile, recognizing you, but then sees that you are in the company of with determination. That's how a rooster smiles. But then he notices Connor. And the rooster loses the pleasant tone and seem more worried about Connor's presence than anything else. And he seems ready to give the alarm to the other guards. What does any of you do?
Hey, Connor's with me. Connor's with me. We're friends.
Okay. Why don't you read me a tense situation?
Me.
Yeah. With cunning.
Roll plus cunning. My cunning is 1. It's very easy because everything's 1, except a -1 charm. 7, 8.
8. Okay, so you can ask 1.
Hang on a sec. Just let you find the moves. Read a tense situation. Roll plus cunning. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. Who is in control here? I ask Sergeant Rooster.
You know that Rooster Zola does not want to do this, but they are under very pressure from the local regent to put down any suspected leaders. And you get the feeling that they suspect that who else but Connor will be the leader of the rebels. I mean, if you're gonna need a rebel leader against the Eerie, cannot get better than the legendary Connor. So you get +1 to act on that information. So figuring that out, what do you add?
I think I kind of give Connor a little nudge and say, act innocent.
Of what?
They think you're here to make trouble. You'd never do that, would you? Me old chum.
Here to put down trouble.
Do you hear that, Zola? We're not here to make trouble. We're here to sort it out.
Well, if you're not here to make trouble, you can just come with me. I mean, if you are innocent, you don't have anything to fear, right?
We're innocent, but we're very busy. We have a lot of work to do. We're trying to help the town.
Help the town?
Yes, like, apparently there's some scam artist around.
Don't talk about that aloud, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, don't worry about it. It's just between you and me.
Look, if you are dealing with the supplies issue, I'm gonna meet you for drinks later, not here at all. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, Sergeant, we'll come with you. We're law-abiding citizens. Let's go along with you as instructed.
Well, why don't you move along? Just tell me in which place you are staying, and I'm sure that will be all that the magistrate needs.
Do we know a place to stay here?
I think Nail knows someplace in the docks. Where do you usually stay at the docks?
Funnily enough, I think I've always stayed at the Sword and Rooster.
Ha.
It's a little place, a bit too close to the docks, but it's cheap and it's warm.
Yeah. Anything that you want to convey to Zola before you leave?
Maybe tell him where we're going to be so that he can come meet us for that drink.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he tells you to move along, and it seems that he has something to tell about supplies. So you make into the docks without any guards stopping you. You don't see many guards in the docks, to be honest. And you see amazing ships from all over the place. In fact, Delta, what is the most exotic ship that you see docked?
I think there's um I think there's actually like a fleet of canoes from far to the west that uh, are carrying some traders with all sorts of exotic goods, and yeah.
Yeah, you see some canoes that are manned by otters, and they seem to be carrying really opulent trade goods. But the goods don't seem to be staying around. Whatever the wealth is going on, you see that the traders that are receiving there, they don't seem to be getting a good share, at least by the way that they are dressed and even how they present themselves. And you can see the dog hands, they are not faring much better. But you keep seeing these luxurious goods just arriving in droves in vast quantities to this place. And you see that it's being traded by an extensive amount of food. In fact, just eyeballing it, if this is happening every day, how much of it remains locally, really? So you make the sword and rooster, and you are greeted by a place filled with smoke and tar. It seems, that things on the docks are becoming more and more cluttered. The place seems to have been better days. The sign is a bit lopsided, but the innkeeper is as friendly as they were, as you remember. So, why each of you tells me something about the innkeeper. So, what is one thing that jumps to your attention about the innkeeper, Fluff?
He's a rabbit, but he's only got one ear. And because he's older, the suggestion is that perhaps he's a veteran of the war, was injured, and is now retired here to run an inn in peace.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Connor? What catches your attention about this old rabbit?
I think Just, I think he's got a sort of headpiece, like a sort of what would you call it? Sort of a helmet-ish sort of thing that he wears, and there's like space for the other ear, and maybe a fake one on the other side.
Neil, what has changed since the last time you met the innkeeper?
I think the amount of beer in the jugs, in the cups, is significantly less. You know, you still pay the same amount for a cup of beer, for a glass of beer, but it's now kind of 3/4 of a glass, not an overflowing one like it used to be.
And Delta, what else do you notice about the innkeeper?
I think he looks kind of saggy, like he recently lost a lot of weight.
So the innkeeper, Oxley, he seems to be cleaning some bottles, as there are a few sailors that have just arrived that are spending some coin here, and he seems to have a bit of a trouble recognizing you, Nail. The person that he actually recognizes is Timber. Oh, if it's not young Mistress Timber, and if it's not her father. Huh. Well, what's this? Oh, I see I get full house. All of you? 5? Do you need rooms?
Yes, I think we'll need rooms. I think we may be here for a little while. I think Timber instantly runs behind the bar and starts playing with things, as she has almost every time that we come here.
So Oxley seems quite pleased and he puts a rag over his shoulder. So, Master Nail, do you need to set up also the back to mount your tinkering station there? There's always space for some peddling if you need it. Or are you not staying that long?
I won't need that little area this time. I'm on a different kind of business. But I did see your sign. It's not at the best. Do you want me to go out there and fix that?
Oh, that will be great. That will be great. That will be lovely. Oh, yeah. Things are really different when you are around, Master Nail.
Well, I just love this place so much.
Fluff is looking around him thinking, why?
So yeah, I think I'll get us a table, and I'll look around on my belt and grab a pair of pincers and a pair of pliers, and I'll head outside and fix up the sign.
Yeah. So in the time that it takes for Oxley to improvise you some porridge and beer, when you come back, he has already done it and serves you an extra dose for Timber and for you. That's when Zola enters. Uh, he's cleaning his feathers as he puts down his helmet and sword at the entrance and sits at the edge of your table. So, I guess someone finally got the good sense of hiring vagabonds to inspect this. This is a nightmare. This is a real nightmare. So, what have you found out?
Well, we've only just arrived. We're just starting to investigate. Actually, I was just about to slip out to the docks as the night draws in and see what I can figure out. But any information you could offer would be very much appreciated.
Oh, yes, great instincts, Fluff. Of course, the ducks. We just go by the manifest and we cannot find anything. The boss is really starting breathing down our necks. They say that this is a clear an attempt to thwart our advance and block the Erie. But it's not just hurting us. Well, at the moment the first soldier fell sick, we have been under tight care and rationing, and we are not getting anything from the city. We are using just rations that are pulled from neighboring clearings. It's the people that are suffering this. They are trying to poison the garrison, but all they are doing is to poison the people. Just look at them.
Yeah,
I push away my porridge a little.
Yeah, he nods approvingly. I don't know how they are doing it. I don't know if it's some food that comes outside or it's on the farms. But the dog seems a good place to start.
We did notice a large amount of trade going on. Some quite valuable stuff changing hands out there.
Oh well, the regent. You know how she is. She has big ideas. She wants to go to the top of the dynasty, and she feels like she needs to prove it herself. And because no invasion is planned to continue the offensive for now, so she's doing that by creating the biggest fortification possible. And she wants to impress all the other leaders of the area, so she is sparing no expense to that.
Seems rather irresponsible.
Well, you never heard that from me.
No dynasty can survive without the support of the people. That's what I was always taught. That's how our family became the great family it is. And Fluff's tail bristles a little bit.
Well, I'll be honest here. I think she probably does not even know how bad things are. The problem, when you have something as great as the dynasty, there are so many people in between, and everyone wants to look good. So I'm pretty sure all my three superiors above me, none of them are telling her how things really are. So it falls to sergeants like me to actually get the job done. Well, sergeants like me and whoever hired you. And he inks.
I guess we are not going to tell him that we're hired by the cats.
Also, that is not that's not why you were wired. That Poison Supplies. No, we are actually looking for a con artist. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to stand up and wander over to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
All of this has given me a thought. I'd like to say the bartender's name was Oxley.
Yeah.
Say, I noticed a lot of food leaving the city through those ships. How much of the food is staying in the city?
Well, There is a barn outside of the city. Most of the barns they have been actually repurposed because since the Erie moved in, the garrison has its own storage facilities. So I think basically there's only one barn and some tiny millstones that people own. Most of the staples, they changed it to potatoes so that it does not need so much facilities.
Hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's really hard to get bread lately.
Yes, that seems like a problem, especially
It-
for an establishment like this that sells food.
Yeah, and people are getting sick, and some people are blaming the water. They say that the sanitation is not prepared to handle so many people living together. Others say it's the food. Others say that it's miasma, that there's whatever industries the cats have to the east, that the fumes are coming here and it's bringing sickness. Everyone has theories, but the truth is that we are suffering.
Hmm. I'm going to wander back to the table. Sit down. So, it sounds like there's only one place where all the food is stored for the whole city. Have you tried looking at that one?
Oh, you mean the old barn? Uh, actually, I don't know what is happening there because I'm on wall duty, but I heard from another sergeant that they sent 6 men there last week and none of them returned. So they took some of the rabbits that owned the place to jail to interrogate, but after that they did not go back. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Cannot have been good.
Sounds like a place to check out.
Definitely.
Well, if you need something that I can help.
Well, perhaps one of your colleagues could point us in the direction of the barn, and perhaps someone who's been there or been in the area and can give us a bit of advance warning about what we might find.
I wish I could get you that, but I'm not so sure. People are keeping really quiet about that.
Maybe just if you make sure that nobody gets in our way.
Well, that I can do. I can make sure that there are no guards that are going that direction. So, do you wait until the night to go to the barn, or what is the plan?
What time is it now?
Well, say that it's in the middle of the afternoon.
Are there any otters drinking here or eating here? The ones that were unloading their canoes.
Yes, they are.
Maybe Fluff might go and join the conversation with some of the otters.
So the others look with you with suspicious, and they seem to be talking on a dialect that you're not familiar. And they just turn to you. What you want?
Fluff is completely immune to suspicious looks and will just clear his throat and say in the loudest voice he can because he thinks that will help people understand him. So, this is a lovely joint, isn't it?
I've seen worse.
You're not from round here like me. We have plenty in common. We should have a drink together. And he basically pulls up a chair and sits down at the table.
What's your poison?
Funny you should say that. I had a mouthful of this porridge and it's pretty foul, wouldn't you agree?
We are not doing much cheating.
So what do you think of this place? I don't mean this place, I mean the whole town. My friends here have just arrived and they're not mighty impressed either.
Well, for most of us it's the first time, but Pintin there who came many times before, didn't you? Yeah, I did, and I have to say, last time was much better. I also made a lot of money in gambling last time, but there are not many people gambling even tonight.
Not a lot of money being seen anywhere, to be honest.
Well, that's a pity.
So what do you notice? Pintin, was it? What's different from last time? What's changed?
Well, there's that big tower now. I don't know who lives there, but it's probably one of them birds.
Well, we're all loyal subjects of the birds, Fluss says particularly loudly and clearly.
They say something in their dialect, and I'll laugh at that. Yeah, sure. A toast to the Erie.
Jolly good.
I run over and toast.
This is my friend Dawn, Delta Dawn.
Hi, did I hear gambling?
Oh, Pintian seems very excited. Oh yes, you're a person to my tastes.
I happen to have some dice right here.
Oh yes.
I have a job to do.
This will be quick. Totally quick.
That's what you said last time.
Well, it would have been if I'd won, which I'm definitely going to do this time.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, go ahead. Fluff kind of backs away from the table, rolling his eyes.
I didn't take games, so I don't actually get any bonus for this, but I feel like I must gamble. I don't know how I do it.
Oh well, the question is if it's somehow important for the. What are you trying to get from gambling?
I guess money. Or maybe I'll say like, well, if hey, let's gamble for secrets. If I win, I tell you a secret, and if you win, you tell me a secret.
Oh. Okay, so I guess in this case we're gonna be doing
Maybe it's trust fate.
I was kind of thinking that, but it's also figure someone out. Let's do a figure someone out because it's
Okay.
exactly what you got trying to get about it.
Okay, so I need to roll 2d6.
36 plus charm.
Okay. Okay, I got a 10 plus. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what's plus, but plus 1, so 11.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to ask them 3 questions.
Okay. Are you telling the truth?
About what exactly?
Do you actually have nothing against the Erie?
Oh no, Pintin is clearly lying. So they are junior members of the other trading company, and they just seek to exploit these as much as possible, and they only do deals with the Erie because it's who has money in town. It's them.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they will just be happy with do that with anyone else. Literally, they have no loyalty to them. They came here purely on business.
Okay. Um, what does your character wish that I'd do?
So Pintin misses her two wives, and so she kind of needs a distraction. She Gambling is doing the job, but they will want to be involved in something more adventurous, like going drinking on taverns or getting into a bit of trouble, getting a story to tell.
Hmm. And okay, how could I get your character to come with us to investigate this barn?
Ooh. You get the feeling that they are self-interested in business, but they also love a good tale to tell. And you can see by the dynamic that she is the senior member of these five sailors, and she kind of wants, if you tell her, inspire her that there is some big conspiracy, that there is big secrets to find out. After all, that's how you convinced her to play for secrets. If you
Mm-hmm.
convince her that there is more to learn here, she will be all over going there.
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm like, there's like something really fishy going on with this barn, like the fact that all these people are getting poisoned. And business isn't as good without that. And if we can figure it out, you're gonna have like a really crazy story to tell everybody back home.
Yeah, Pintin is really excited, and after after 3 rounds and 2 beers, she's ready to jump on and accompany you there.
Sweet.
So, anyone else wants to do anything before the fall of the night? So is Timber coming?
I might ask if I could leave Timber there. We've got a room.
Yeah,
She knows
you
the way
have
around the
rooms.
place.
Yeah, and Timber is happy to stay more time without parental vigilance. Which kid does not want that? So yeah, you make your way towards the barn, and the fields there around it, they seem, you can see corn in every direction, and you are moving through the stalks, and you see the barn at the distance, and you can see carts outside still filled with sacks. You can see a donkey standing vigilant, as if expecting trouble, and you can see a candle in the second floor of the barn, and you can see shadows moving in and about.
Can we take like just a couple minutes?
Yeah, it's almost time for another break, so let's take 5 minutes break.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. So in other news, so rephrasing back, we have the barn. There's light on the upper floor. There are shadows being cast. There is a donkey that is standing guard of the carts outside. Pintin seems to be really curious at what is going on, and she seems really excited that there's really something to this story. And she started picking up stones, checking them, picking the more round ones, and she's assembling a small pile.
What are you planning to do with those rocks there?
I mean, in case we need a distraction.
Excellent idea.
I can tell you've been on adventures like this before.
I have one or two tales to tell, if you get me drunk enough.
How drunk are you?
Eh,
Hey, I got some whiskey in my flask if you need a little tip topping off.
yeah, just a bit, to take off the edge so that my aim improves.
Okay.
Ha!
So, as you are drinking some alcohol for courage, what you gonna do?
When you say a donkey standing guard, this is like like an anthropomorphic donkey, right? Like a
Yes, like
okay,
you.
like a person. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think while the others are deciding what they're going to do, I'm going to. What? How's it worded? I'm going to sneak off alone. Basically, I want to kind of run the perimeter of this place and see what I can see, figure out
Okay.
what's going on.
I would say that you are reading a tense situation rather than attempting a roguish feat, right?
Yeah, I think the roguish feat comes next.
Yeah, so go for it. So roll plus cunning.
Okay, so I roll plus 1. Yeah, 11. So ask 3. Well, first one, obviously, what's our best way in?
So you circle across the corner and you see that the donkey is more focused on the cards, and they are all on the side of the barn that is facing to you. And you go around and you can see that there is the other side, and there seems to be an open window, which seems where they unload the wheat that it's actually stored there. So you figure out that you can climb through there.
Okay, great. What should we be on the lookout for?
You are pretty sure that the donkey is not the only sentinel. You cannot see them, but you get the feeling that you are being observed. Well, not actively now, but you get the view that there's someone that has a higher ground per view. You get this instinct that maybe above the barn or hiding in the corn stalks, there's someone else.
Can I tell? So I'll sneak back round, sneak up behind the rest of the group, and go. Psst. There's an open window, but there's something watching us from outside.
So I'm gonna fly up and start circling around and see if I can see anybody.
Do you want to ask the third question then, Rob? Since I have another question left, maybe you could do that.
And the other question is, are you trying to not be seen by the donkey or wherever it is?
Yeah. I think I should still be able to stealth, even though I'm sort of so what was the other question? Okay, what was the? It was read the 10 situations. So
Yeah, and we did best way in and what should we be on the lookout for?
who or what is the biggest threat?
So you soar up into the skies, and you are well trained in night ambushes and night fighting. So you pick the right point, and there is nothing, no stars, no moon against you. And you only fly for a brief period, but you're able to see who is on the top. It seems to be a fox that is covered in dark green clothes that is standing very still, and they have a crossbow in their hands. And next to them, you can see the bodies of three quarts of the Erie, three sparrows.
Where is this fox exactly? Sorry, I missed it.
On the roof.
Okay, I have an idea. Have you ever heard of popcorn? Because we are surrounded by corn. And if what we need is a distraction to get in, what if I make up some sort of ball of corn that'll go pop? That'll make them all think something's going on over here, while everyone else gets in over there.
So that is your crafting move, right?
Yes, my jury rig.
Yeah, okay. So you're gonna roll plus cunning.
Okay, so that's 8 plus cunning is 9, 10. Hooray. So, where's...
So you get to pick one.
I'm going to say you get an additional use out of it. So there's so much corn around that I managed to put together two little grenades. And I'm going to use one to get in, and then we have one if we need to get out.
Why don't you paint me a picture of what that looks like?
So I've got this tool belt of a million little things. I think I pull down a few stalks of corn, and I strip down the corn off of the cob of each of them, and then wrap it in the husk of the corn, and then use the stalk to kind of bundle it all up into one big thing. And in amongst all of that, I keep on getting like little shavings of iron, of flint, into a little patch of the husk, so that I can strike that against something, against a knife to create a spark, and then I can throw it and it'll burn up, and then all the corn will cook and pop.
Yeah, so you deploy that, and it starts like a low rumbling, and then it just ignites, and the powder of the corn against each other, the dust ignites even more, and it creates this shiny effect, and suddenly you can just see random pops across the field as you run the opposite direction, and you can see the donkey, alarmed, does not know what they are doing, draws their axe and run towards the direction of the sound. You can see a very fast moving shadow on the barn, and you can see just making a double jump and then running towards the forest. What you do?
The shadow is the fox jumping down, presumably, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was while we got in the window, because that was the idea, was that it would be a distraction for us to get in the back window.
Well, it looks like it's drawn their attention, so now we can just head in.
You guys do that. I think Fluff might head after this fox.
So since I made the distraction, do you want me to roll the roguish action?
Or one of the others can roll and you can help.
Sure. Well, yeah, we'll call that my help then.
Yeah. So who is going to do the roguish action while Fluff follows?
I can do it, or if nobody else wants to.
Well, who has the best finesse?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to read. I think it would make sense for me to do roguish actions, but I'm not sure I really understand. Wait, where is it listed? I see it now. Attempt roguish feats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna. Maybe I
Your
shouldn't.
finesse is -1.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm about to just instantly leap up, and then I realize, and then I kind of trip over myself because I drank a little too much of my whiskey, and I'm like, yeah, you go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so who's going then?
I think it's Connor, and I think my distraction counts as a +1
Okay.
to their roll.
Yeah. So Connor, go with +1.
So I just want to say the way the stats are laid out kind of confused me. So I thought I was putting my +1 into finesse when it was actually, I don't know, might 2 luck -1. Oh, it's my luck is -1. Okay, I was reading that wrong. Okay, I will roll. That's a 6.
Okay, so both Delta and Nail can spend exhaustion to increase that.
So does my distraction count as a +1 automatically, or do I have to do
Yes,
exhaustion as well?
that 6 is already with that, right?
So with another +1, that would be 7.
Okay, then you don't need exhaustion. Unless you can get +3. So you get to pick 2.
You don't have a clear path of escape, and you leave evidence of your roguery behind.
So you climb to the window with the distraction, and you flew there, so you leave a trail of feathers as you squeeze yourself through the window. And the problem is that you enter, you can hear some clicking noise, and you can see the massive the massive restraints of the window falling towards you, and you dodge just in time as it closes the window.
Ah,
Meanwhile, Fluff. So you are trying to give chase to this individual. Uh, do you have any move that helps in particular, or are you trusting fate?
Well, I am trying to give chase without being seen, and I have silent pause.
Mm-hmm.
But that just means that when I attempt to roguish feat relying on stealth, I guess I'm hoping this is a roguish feat to kind of shadow this fox.
Yeah, so I guess if your priority is not being detected while clipping as close as possible, you don't
Yeah.
need to track them. So yeah, we can say that this is you are trying to follow them into the forest.
Yeah. Are they running towards the popcorn?
No, away from the popcorn.
Ah, so the donkey went for the popcorn, and this fox is just going in different
Yeah,
directions.
they
Okay,
are just evading.
yeah, okay. I would definitely want to see where they go. So yeah, a roguish feat.
Okay, go for it.
What's my finesse? 1, because everything is 1. Okay. Plus 1. Go. Oh yeah. 8. Yeah. So I have to pick 2, but I can mark exhaustion to pick one instead because of my
Mhm.
silent pause. So I'll do that, and I will say that I don't have a clear path of escape.
Oh,
So I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm just paying so much attention to follow this fox into the forest that I lose track of where I've come from, and I don't know.
yeah. So you lose yourself into the forest, into the night, and you follow this fox. And after a while, the fox stops near a spring, and it moves some stones, grabs something from underneath the stones, and leaves something. And then she climbs into one of the trees as if waiting for something. What do you do now?
Well, I'm kind of staying in the shadows of the trees to see this. Can I still see her now? She's climbed into the tree.
Yeah, you can see her form against the tree, and she does not seem to be going anywhere. And she is on a position in which, if you approach the spring, you will be seen.
I'm thinking squirrels are quite good at climbing trees, though. Can
With
I
a
go
click
around?
on her?
Can I go around the other side of her? So my idea is, tell me if will work. To go around the other side of her tree, and climb up and sneak up on her, and then essentially I want to appear with my sword to her throat and ask her what's.
Oh, I will say that yes, you can do that. Why don't you give me a trick and NPC with +1 from your previous action? And you are trying to move from far to close and personal.
Yeah. Okay. So roll plus cunning
And +1.
and +1, so +2 in total. 11. Booyaka. So take the bait and do what you want.
Yeah. So you manage to sneak on them, and before they even move, you are putting your sword against their throat. What is the cool thing that you say?
I'd like to say that I like whisper in the fox's ear, but thinking about Fluff, I think he probably just says something like, "Not as smart as you think you are, Mr. Fox."
We cut back to the others with the barn. So below, underneath the barn, that we're going to make the climb after Connor, is Nail, Delta, and Pintin, which are now waiting to see what happens now. Up, we see Connors that is on the top of the barn, and the window just closed with a big bang. And you can hear shuffling as three confused people seem to be hesitating between going after what happened with the popcorn and trying to see what is going on with the window. And you have this moment of hesitation to act. What do you do?
I'm gonna swoop down and crash into one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna say that they are on close for you. So, do you use a particular move, or do you just engage them on a sword fight?
Let me just check my moves again. When you smash your way through scenery, I don't know if that counts.
Oh yes, that can count. If you change that, you just charge into the middle of them.
Yeah. So I roll with might. Reroll selected. That's 7, 8, 9. So on a 7 to 9, I choose 2. On a hit, I reach my target. On a 7 to 9, I choose 2. I will hurt myself, so I'll mark 1 injury.
You can mark armor.
Yeah. And I will break an important part of the structures around me.
Oh. So what part of the barn you want to destroy?
Maybe like one of the supports, like one of the beams of the that are holding up the upper level, sort of.
Yeah. So to paint the scene for you from the ground floor, you just see the window close, and then seconds later, you just see half of the barn roof just collapse. And on the middle of this dust everywhere, as you can see, these 3 rabbits trying to make sense of what happened. We just see Connor coming through them, and you hurt their morale, so they lose 1 morale. And they still seem in quite a chaotic situation. And one of them just begs, "Please, please, we do not want to kill them. It was the fox."
So we can see them from the ground now?
Yeah, because the roof just collapsed.
Okay.
Who
Could I?
is the fox?
She works with the red vermin.
Does that name ring a bell or anything?
It does. The tax collector told you that the identity of the con artist was they were presenting as Red Vermin, a leader of the revolution.
How did you get in contact with them?
The fox comes on his behalf. She tells us where to give the stuff that the revolution needs.
What made you think that she worked with them? Oh wait, I'm not there. Sorry.
No, you can be. After what just happened, I think there is no issue for the three of you approaching.
Okay, I climb up and I'm like, well, what made you think that she was with the revolution in the first place? Like, you think revolutionary leaders just like walk up to people and say, "I'm a leader of the revolution"?
No, she made us prove ourselves and our loyalty and how much we hated the birds. And then she killed guards that came to check on us to make us not be able to go back. Oh God.
There. How do we find her?
What do you mean? She should be around here. We had a meeting scheduled.
All right. I hate to break this to you, but your friend was waiting on the roof with a crossbow.
Yeah. How do you convince them that that was the case?
Like, maybe when they ran, maybe they left something behind that I could find.
Okay, so test your fate to see if you get something incriminating.
Okay. I think my luck is the one I put a minus in. Yep, that's right. Okay, let's reroll. Nope. That's a 3.
Okay, so I don't guess that the others can help. So they don't believe you. Well, you are with the birds. You're just saying that because you are trying to get us to betray our comrades. Yeah! We'll not spill the secrets of the red vermin. Dead to the birds.
Can I just ask, this is happening inside the barn. What happened to the 3 donkeys at the front?
The one donkey. He's still in the middle of the popcorn field, trying to make sense of what the hell happened.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say like I'm just a simple possum, just trying my best to help out the townspeople, and I'm not very smart. I don't really understand this political stuff. So I'm just asking you to please have some faith in your common personhood of us both. So I'm trying to trigger desperate smile when I trust fate to see me through by begging, pleading, or abasing myself.
Okay,
that
so
work?
roll plus charm then.
Okay. So my charm is 2. Okay. And I got a 9, so 11.
Unless someone wants to help, and you can bump it to 10.
Oh, I mean, including my charm, it's 11.
Oh, okay, then. Then great. So basically, you managed to get them to lose the remaining morale, and look, the birds are taking all the food. We figured, we don't have much to lose, so it's better if it goes to the revolution. We are sending the cards to the meeting place tomorrow. Well, tonight, I guess. I don't know what is going to happen now, but yeah, they are taking the corn.
Look, if we are wrong and it is the revolution, I will see to it that this corn gets to the revolution. And if we're right, then we're right. and you won't, and we'll make sure it doesn't get to those people who took advantage of you.
And the three rabbits, they trade an exchange as they realize that they might have got involved in the killing of guards for not even the right reasons, and they just go pale. And one of them seems ready to throw up. The one that seems most composed tells you there were 6 guards that came here. 3 of them refused to join us, but the other 3, a pigeon and 2 sparrows, they joined the fox. They joined the red vermin. I would be careful. They should be around her. Speaking of around her, Fluff.
Hello.
So she seems phased by this. Are you with the guard?
I'm asking the questions. What's under the stone?
Money.
Money for whom?
For my boss. For my gang.
Why were you standing on top of the barn with a crossbow?
I was expecting trouble.
Well, you found trouble. So, So, give me one reason why I shouldn't simply kill you right now and wait for whoever's coming to take that money.
I don't have really a good reason.
Okay.
I think that means you kill her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right, exactly. I'm looking at my moves and thinking, okay, well, fine, yeah. So I do.
Or do you think she might be lying? Do you want to do something before you do that?
I'm trying not to know what I know from the conversation that happened in the barn.
So maybe you are trying to...
I would try and figure her out.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, and you get +1 because you're very close and personal and you hold an edge over her.
Yeah, but I get -1 because my charm is -1 because I'm useless at interpersonal skills. So, all right. But if this goes wrong and you make a hard move, I'm not going to be impressed. Here we go. I have a 9. I guess, is your character telling the truth? Are you telling the truth?
No, she actually knows. She actually knows a lot more than she's willing to tell, and she has other allegiances. You get this feeling.
Which she's willing to die for.
Yes.
I mean, she basically just said, yeah, well, kill me. I'm not going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, because it means it will not be discovered.
I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. And then I'm going to hang around and wait and see what happens next when whoever comes for the money.
Okay, so you have murder, right?
I have
Let's
murder,
do-
yeah. I don't remember what the move is. Hang on. Roll plus cunning. Ah, okay. And I've got darkened blade, so if she's unaware of a position, I can murder using my sword. Yeah, okay. So even if I roll a miss, I can mark exhaustion to stay hidden.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, let's see what happens. I have 6 plus 1, 7. 7.
Now it's already ready to use a hard move. So,
I'm sorry.
so you cut her throat, and do you remain hidden, or do you just let her body fall, revealing your position?
No. No, I mean, I have no reason to think anyone else is around, but I better be safe, right? No, I do it carefully, and then I, as quiet as I can, kind of lay her body over the branch that we're on. My plan is basically just to wait and see who turns up.
Yeah, and you wait a bit, and you can see laughing, and you can see they are wearing ragged cloaks, but you can see the telltale armor of guards of the Eerie, and you see a pigeon and two sparrows coming towards the stone.
On foot.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think I have my bow out, but I'm gonna wait. I'm looking down the loaded arrow to see what happens.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. Zara probably got a lot of money from selling that corn to the people. Yeah. Don't you love it when war forces things to go to black market and just moving a thing from one hen house to another increases its price? Idiots. Well, speaking of idiots, it's not like the red vermin knows how much it was. And the pigeon hits the sparrow that said that on its head. Don't be stupid. Zari is going to tell him, and then what?
Mm, I think they're going to go off with this money and take it to the red vermin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow them, I think.
Did you leave any mark for your companions to follow you?
It's probably a good idea. The problem is I'm lost, though, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, you just need to indicate to them that you were there.
yeah. Well, there's a dead fox.
True, that's a pretty good calling card.
Yeah. If I have if it's, this is going to be difficult, but if I could lay the dead fox out in a way that it points the direction that I went, following these birds, I think that would be the thing to do.
I mean, you can use her arms to signal that, as long as
Yeah.
nobody disturbs the body.
Yeah, and as long as I can do it quickly enough while the birds are still nearby, but quietly enough that they don't hear me doing it.
Yeah, I guess you are testing your luck.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Okay. 2, 6 plus 1, 5, 8, 9. I scrape by. The GM will tell you what it cost you.
I'm gonna say that you need to mark decay because you need to use something.
Okay.
what is that you need to use, and
I think maybe to avoid. So decay is like an abstraction of the gear that I have, right?
yeah,
So I could say that I had some rope or something and I had to use it.
yeah.
So I think
that you tie it to make sure that it's on a certain position.
I think what I have to do is I realized that to drop her down to the ground would make too much noise and I haven't got time. So I tie her to the tree using my rope and then point with her arm pointing the direction, or her front paw or whatever, pointing in the direction that we have to go. So I use some rope up, so I'll mark decay. And then I sneak after the birds.
Okay, so you clear exhaustion because you're clearly activating your nature. So
Oh, really?
you clear you're a
Oh, yeah.
loner.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going without backup. And we get to down into the forest as we see the other three as they find your trail, and they find a dead fox tied to a tree pointing in one direction. And I think this is where we end our session tonight. Okay. Thanks everyone. We are a bit on top of time, but let's quick go to stars and wishes. Let's start on the order on my screen. So let's start with Toby.
That's really fun. Ludo, I really like the mood and tone. It's a lot of fun, and being able to balance out the kind of the caricature anthropomorphic animals thing with quite a dark tone is really well done. And I like all the characters. I have to say though, I particularly like I like the daughter, who, if she isn't in some danger before the end of the series, something's gone wrong, right?
Okay, Rob.
I really enjoyed the different characters that we've got, and I like the popcorn grenade in particular was quite interesting invention. So good job there. And also we had the random drunk otter joining our band was strange, but I like that we're throwing in a bit of a light tone sort of stuff in there, but also also got some darker moments, like just slitting a fox's throat and leaving them tied to a tree to point the way for our friends. That's
Richard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that, and especially the way that the game has enabled that there's a move where somebody dies, and we've got a very light, we've got a drunk party followed by a little sneakiness, and it's really gone across the spectrum of tone very well. And I really felt like nothing was out of place, even though there was so many different things going on. But just quickly, there was something I wanted to say about the daughter. I was feeling a little bit icky about kind of being run out of home and then taking a daughter away from her mother. And I'd just like to retcon that to be that I had a wife and daughter that I got run away from home from, and then I found an orphan that I have taken up as a substitute daughter.
Oh, that's good. And Libby, stars.
I also really liked the popcorn grenades, and I liked that that Fluff killed a character named Fluff killed a fox in cold blood. It was pretty on brand for this game, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I really loved all the characters. I really like the dynamic of the party. I like that there is this small tension, but somehow everyone works together. And I there is such a mood whiplash, but it's not a bad whiplash, as everyone mentioned. It's like you never know if if the next moment is going to be a soft moment or things are going to get hard. And it can be a bit difficult sometimes, but when it works, it really works. So I want to thank everyone for contributing to that and helping with that. I also loved how everyone helped develop the city, and which is very nice, especially on a game this early on its development, that the GM needs all help necessary. I really like all your answers and the small details that you added, and this clearing really came out to life. And next, let's go with wishes, what we hope to see next session and beyond. Toby again?
You reminded me of the start. I liked the rabbit's helmet with the false ear, the barb, and I forgot about that. That was really funny touch. Yeah, I hope more of the same. I don't think I'm in the next session, or maybe I am. I don't remember. I signed up for them all, but I think most of them I'm actually on the wait list. But I would like. I think I think there's a bit of tension with Fluff because of the way the character is written. He is meant to be a loner sneaking off on his own, and that's fun. But I hope that doesn't continue to happen. Like, I hope the party gets back together fairly soon, and that Fluff gets the chance to do what he wants to do without it always being, a scene with three and then a scene with just me on my own. But other than that, yeah, just keep going the way we are. It's fun.
Rob?
I'm looking forward to seeing. I know there are moves in the game for like how the woodland changes over time, and since we've got about 4 more sessions, I think, of this this mini campaign, where maybe we'll get to see that in action a bit.
Yeah, I'm also very curious about that because all the games of Root that I had been, I was not able to. So, Richard.
So I won't be here next session, but my hope, my wish for sessions after that will be we've gotten a lot of very personal stuff going on in this one, and I want to see, going by the Game of Thrones vibe that we've got, some of the more political drama unfolding in the further sessions.
And Libby.
Yeah, I wish I could be at the next session because, and also be at Metatopia, but I'm gonna be back after that. So I hope to see, to see that political vibe. I really can't wait to learn more about the red vermin. That sounds very interesting.
Okay, thank you everyone. This was a great session. So, is everyone okay with